My name is James P. Bradley. I'm running against Ted Lieu in Congressional District 33, California.
Okay. There are some issues on which you differ. Ted is a climate change activist. How is he doing on the Green Deal?
Well, he continues to report that he's the climate change activist, and at a recent town hall meeting, he was approached by the constituents, speaking about what will happen when all our other industries if he continues to push the Green Deal. And we're looking at losing well into the thousands of jobs, and also the ramifications of the Green Deal were asked. His response was simply, you have to find another job. That was it. Cold-hearted, callous.
What is AB 5?
AB 5 is commonly known as the gig law. That is a law that went into effect January 1 this year. And this is directly mandating that the self-employed, self-contracted, independent contractors now need to find new work or work for the employer. It's really hitting our Hollywood behind the camera team, as well as the other independent contractors out there. Now, he has not spoken out about it. I am a strong advocate speaking out about it because that truly is cutting into the livelihoods of many of those that have been self-employed for the years.
Why do you suppose that the Democrats have pushed that so hard in this economy? Are they consciously trying to damage the economy in the state of California?
Well, we can all speculate on rationale, but their association with the unions, and this was actually drafted by the unions to move everyone into the employment sector. I think that's really what they're pushing, and unfortunately,
Move them where?
move them into either working for the employer, because they don't want the competition. More importantly, they love the fees.
Okay. But what if the jobs aren't there from the employers, especially now with all these lockdowns and company closures?
Well, that's not a concern of the Democrats, is it? You know, we're finding with the shutdown, they were certainly not concerned about the economy. They're more concerned about the safety and safety. That's what they claim. And of course, I look at I try to dig into the numbers and also follow the money, and it's clearly we're seeing something completely different. Them also pushing toward mail-in ballots only for this election cycle. It's clearly what, to me anyway, what they're doing.
China has teamed up with Iran, especially against Israel and the United States now. What are Ted's connections with China and the global Islamist movement?
Well, I'll speak to the latter. The Islamist globalist movement, he's been a strong advocate and glorified Linda Sarsour in, I think it was 2 years roughly. He's also a supporter of NIAC. Also, CARE has received accolades from CARE. So he speaks out on their behalf, and he is, I call, an operative in a sense. But his position with China, he is on a commission for regulating and overseeing Chinese activities. Now, I always view it this way. If you're not an advocate to bring and protect our nation, which he's not, he's actually promoted the fact that the technology transfer that we've had going to China, and that's the intellectual property, that's also the manufacturing jobs. He has not spoken out about it. In fact, he supports moving those jobs outsourced to China.
What do you think about his participation in the impeachment trials with the foreknowledge that the Russian dossier was based on falsehoods?
I think it's outright criminal that he would continue down that path, knowing that there's no supporting evidence to actually put Trump in that category. You have to edit that out.
Yeah. What's your background in law and order candidacies?
Oh, well, let's see. I've served the United States Coast Guard for 6 years, so I was indoctrinated into law enforcement at a young age. More importantly, I believe the rule of law, and what we've seen with this local BLM movement and the support by various factions within the Democrat Party, they're not supporting law and order. So that is part of my genome code. I was brought up that way, and I served in the Coast Guard purposely for that reason, for the safety, security of our country.
Well, what do you think of the lawlessness that's taken place in the state of California and other major cities?
I think it needs to come to an end, and I think if there was a way, and I know that Donald Trump's been wrestling with this for many, many months now, how much involvement. Now, I think we're at a point now where he needs to hold those city mayors and officials and those state officials accountable for the mayhem that's been created by the rioters. So I think he needs to take a strong-handed approach, peace through strength approach that Ronald Reagan also used.
Yeah. And on the issue of Coast Guard, which is the fifth branch of the military,
That's correct.
what about veterans affairs? Because I know Congressman Lieu has been active with the VA on Veterans Day.
That has all been very superficial. There's been thousands of veterans that reached out to Ted Lieu in his office and has not, to this day, has not received a response. So to me, that's fecklessness, and he's basically violated his oath of office. More importantly, as a veteran, he should hold that, as I do, near and dear to your heart. Those are the brothers and sisters you serve, and they deserve better. I think he's turned his back on them. He's actually campaigning on that he is a veteran, and now I'm challenging that. He's not a veteran, in my opinion.
How about homelessness, the homelessness issue?
We're at a stage at 66,000 that recorded. Those are been reported, and I venture to guess there's much more. So right now, Ted Lieu has again been silent. I'm moving forward with my policies and creating solutions where he hasn't even considered the thought of it. But I'm taking that on as one of my key campaign strategy points, is to take care of the homeless, really to get them out of the homeless. And honestly, I can't speak for Ted Lieu, but you know, there comes a time in Congress you need to take a lead, and this is not a concern of his, but it is a concern for the constituents.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.